Welcome back to Mustache Moto. It's Ben, and today we're going to talk about winterizing your motorcycle. Let me kick this off by saying that thank goodness I don't have to winterize my motorcycles. So I live in Atlanta in the South. Weather is decent enough that I can ride year round. Even when we get bad weather, it's rare that it'd be more than a few days, maybe a week. So I don't go very long without riding the bike. And let me say that that is actually the best thing you can do. So if you're in a colder climate, if you think you can ride your motorcycle maybe every 3 weeks, you shouldn't have to do any of this stuff. You just got to make sure that you get out and actually ride it. And when you do, you want to make sure to ride it at least probably half hour, maybe a little longer, because you don't want to just warm the bike up. You want to really run it through its paces, get it good and hot, let it cook off any moisture that's in the engine, and then you can bring it back and park it. So if you can do that, don't worry about winterizing your bike. For y'all that live in colder climates, or if you're going to be leaving the bike in storage or whatever, there's some things you can do that are really going to help protect your bike and keep it in better condition and have it ready to run when you get back to it. The first step is a really, really good and thorough clean of your motorcycle. You want to make sure you get all the bugs and the debris off of it. Get it really nice to come back to when the springtime comes, but also get all that junk, the road goop that might kind of etch into the paint or into the fork tubes or something like that. Get all that off. And of course, you're going to wash it and have plenty of time to get it good and dry because you don't want to store it while it's still damp. This next step is the most fun because we're going to go out for a nice long ride. Half hour, 2 hours, take the whole day. That'd be even better. Maybe your last ride of the season. And what you want to do is make sure you run your tank down really low. Get it to the reserves even better. And then on the way home, closer to home the better, we're going to stop. And we're going to fill the tank. We're going to fill it all the way. But we're going to be sure to fill it with no ethanol. Unleaded without the ethanol. You should be able to find a gas station near your house that has it. Ethanol sitting in the tank can kind of cause water to accumulate. It can be bad for the internals, bad for the tank, bad for your seals. Way, way better to fill it with the no ethanol before you let it sit all winter long. And now make sure also you fill it up as high as you can, kind of rock the tank, burp it, get as much gas in there as you can so there's less airspace. If you can't find a place that has no ethanol, you do have another option. You can get something like this, Sta-Bil gas stabilizer, and you're going to put, it tells you how much in the back, but you put an ounce or so in the fuel tank before you fill it up. What that's going to do is kind of keep that any ethanol that's in there emulsified, keep it mixed in with the gas. It's going to prevent the gas from turning on you. So when you go to fire it up beginning of the year, it's going to run great. If you're on a carbureted bike like my DR650, the easy thing to do is turn the fuel off while the bike's running and let it go ahead and burn off all the fuel in the carburetor. That'll keep you from clogging up jets over the winter. Other options would be if it's a vacuum operated, you could remove the vacuum and the petcock will shut the fuel flow off and burn it off. Or you can undo the screw at the bottom of the float bowl and that'll allow your gas to drain out. And if you're on a chain drive motorcycle, when you get back from that last ride, get out your chain wax or chain lube and give it a thorough spray all over the chain. That'll protect it from any rust over the winter. Your battery's going to lose charge over the winter because it's not being used. And if you don't do something to help it out, to keep it charged, it's probably going to be dead when you go to start the bike in the spring. And even if you can charge it or jump it and get it going, it's probably going to be damaged and will have lost some serious capacity. So you got to do something. Lead acid batteries, which are the most common type in most bikes, they thrive on kind of discharging when you're starting the bike and then recharging when you're riding. So what are you going to do? I've got a pigtail on here so I can plug, a battery tender, battery charger, maintainer into it. But I want to tell you, I don't like plugging them in and leaving them run all winter. So even decent ones, I think will kill your battery over that time because the battery's not having that discharge that it likes. You can get a real expensive one or more expensive ones that are multi-stage that actually drain the battery at some point and then recharge it. Those are probably, pretty good. I'll find one and link it below. But the other thing you can do is just pop it on the battery charger, once every 3 weeks, every 2 weeks, and leave it on for a few hours or a day, and then pull it off. And that's going to allow the battery to kind of naturally float. And then when you plug it back in, it's going to charge it back up before it's gotten too depleted. If you don't want to have that, have to think about that and remember it, you could buy just a lamp timer and set it to turn this on once in 1 hour a day. Have it pop on for an hour and then be off the rest of the time. I think that's much better for your battery. Or if the bike's more inaccessible, and this is actually maybe more important if you have a lot of accessories that could cause parasitic drain on the battery, you can actually just pull your battery out, disconnect it, put it on your workbench, and then you can occasionally pop it onto a charger to make sure it's topped up. Let's talk about your tires. Leaving your bike sit on the side stand for 3, 4, 5, 6 months can cause the tires to actually get a little bit of a flat spot on them, which you seriously don't want. So what can you do about that? Probably the easiest thing, if you got a center stand, is just put it up on the center stand. So that's going to take the weight off your tires and keep them from having that flat spot. If you don't have a center stand, you could use track stands. You could use a jack to lift up the bike a little bit just to take that weight off the wheels. If you don't have any of those options, best thing to do is to pump up your tires, make sure they're probably all the way up to the max sidewall pressure. That's going to give them more shape. And then it's also not going to, as the pressure slowly gets lost over the winter, it's not going to make it as flat of a tire. And then once every month maybe, get out and actually move your bike around so that when you park it, it's not going to be sitting on the exact same spot of the tire. That'll spread it out a little bit and keep you from having a flat spot. If you're going to be parking your bike outside for the winter or maybe in a barn, somewhere like that, get yourself some coarse steel wool, wad it up, and you're going to shove it in and block the openings in your muffler. What this is going to do is prevent a mouse or rat or something from getting in here and building a nest over the winter and trying to stay warm and then having it all plugged up when you go to start your bike in the spring. Now, you may want to make a sticky note and stick it on your ignition so that you remember it's here, and then you pull it out before you try and start the bike. Last thing I want to mention is bike covers. If you're under a roof or you're inside, an old bed sheet, something like that works perfectly, or you could get a commercial cover, but make sure you get something that's breathable. The last thing you want is for it to trap moisture underneath it if somehow some gets in, or if you park outside, and you've got a waterproof cover, it can get moisture underneath it. That's going to cause even more rust on your bike and make it worse. I really hope you don't have to put your bike away for the whole winter, but if you do, now you know what to do.